Hello, everyone. This is Doug Nelson, the district trainer for Rotary District 6490. And with me on the call is Scott Paisley, who's the current president of CU Sunrise. Scott, thanks so much for taking the time to be with me.
You're welcome, Doug. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, and I thought what we could do today is just go over how you enter your goals into My Rotary. And that's a really important thing for Rotary presidents to be able to do, just to
Sure.
set those goals, and they become kind of a metric for how we're doing throughout the year.
I'd be happy to do that. I'll admit that when I became president of our little club, I was pretty intimidated because I had a tough act to follow. We had a really good president to follow, and I wanted to get off on the right foot. So it was literally the very first thing I did was I went into My Rotary and looked at goals and decided to set a few of those. And if I could share my screen.
Yeah, that would be great, Scott. If you could walk us through the process,
sure.
That would be awesome.
I'll do my best. But pardon a little bit of fumbling around if I have to do some.
No, we're there.
Good. So I went to My Rotary, and it's a little bit clumsy to find, but I did find it. If you go to home and then clubs, you'll find your own club. Once you're logged in, it knows what your own club is. I went to mine, CU Sunrise. And once you're there are a number of things you can choose. Right here in the middle of the page is goals. And I went there, and goals. There's another link below that. I finally ended up at the goals page. I was fortunate enough to have had a president who had done goals before I had. So I wasn't facing the prospect of coming up with something totally from scratch. There's also another one here that I didn't get, was this tab from My Club was the one I was looking for. It took me a little bit of time to find that. But now that I'm there, I look back at other years. You can see in this the age trends. For instance, there are different years to look at there. And then I was able to kind of guesstimate, kind of be hopeful of goals to set, how we'd like to move forward in my year. And after you've had a chance to review the demographic data that's already in there, on the left is the goal center, and that's where I was able to input goals for my club for the upcoming year. It took a little while, but it was pretty important to find in the center of the page here where you can look back at a year or forward at a year. Looking back, I could see what the previous president had input, goals that we met, goals we exceeded, and I could kind of move back to my year, and that's where I could actually input by hitting the edit button, where I could actually then go through the different categories of goals, types of goals, and with a little bit of reflection, I was pretty easily able to set these goals, save them, and move on. And it allowed Rotary International to have this very important information for us to track our club and our progress.
So, Scott, every box in pink is where you can actually input a number?
I believe that's correct. Yes, that is true. New member sponsorship. Obviously, there are some numbers that I've not put in yet, but that's something that I need to do a little bit more reflection on, and to enter some of these things, which I'll do. I kind of hit the easy ones to begin with, sure. And because of that, I guess we were able to achieve a Rotary citation for our club, which was kind of a surprise, but we were happy to get that.
I think to receive a citation, if I'm not mistaken, you have to enter in at least 13 goals and enter in A and then achieve. 13 goals, which is, certainly possible.
Yes, and actually, once I found it, and I hope that my explanation here is easy to follow, but it really was pretty easy to do. And obviously, since I was a fairly intimidated newbie president, didn't know what I was doing, but this was the first thing that I did. It can't be that hard.
And then each of the tabs there, like foundation giving, service, like for instance, the service tab, you just go to that, and then it's different projects that you have.
Exactly. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yes.
And then after you enter in something, you just hit the green save button, and it's in there, right?
And you move on to the next thing, give it some thought, and before long, you're at the bottom of the page, and you've set your goals.
Yeah. And you can always go back in and update them, right? If you wish.
Right. In fact, Doug, when you asked me to do this, it kind of clued me in that I needed to go back and do that, because running a club, you get plenty of other things to do. So I'll be doing that in the next couple of days, to go back and kind of review those and see how we're doing. That's probably something that I should make myself a reminder to revisit that every couple of months, if not sooner, to review those things.
Yeah. Scott, this seems pretty straight ahead. Once you're in there, it's pretty laid out. So it's just a matter of navigating to that place. And then, it's a good thing to reflect on what are the goals and where are we along the way?
Yeah. Yeah. I guess we're fortunate that our club is clicking along pretty well, and we're not having a great deal of trouble achieving goals, as long as they're realistic when you set them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, congratulations on being Small Club of the Year last year, right?
Oh, thank you. We're very, very proud of that. But we're small but mighty.
Yeah. Yeah. And you have a lot of fun doing it. So
it's a whole lot of fun. We have a bunch of great people. Well, every Rotary club has a bunch of great people. So
that's what makes Rotary. Scott, thank you so much for taking the time to walk us through this evening. I appreciate it very much.
You're welcome. I hope that does some clarify some things and maybe makes it a little bit easier.